Welcome to Gat Chat. This is Aaron. Of course, you might know me from Armed Atlas on YouTube, Armed Atlas on Instagram. And no matter where you know me from, I'm excited because we have Kwaku James with us. But before we get into all that, I do want to just ask your opinion. How are you enjoying Gat Chat? Are you happy with once a week? Should we do it a little bit more often? And if we did it more often, would you be willing to go over to our member site, locals.com or armedatlas.locals.com to watch the live version of that show? And of course, you could see it early. You don't have to pay for all of them, but you may receive a few extra benefits if you did join us in that way. That said, Gat Chat, just to reiterate to you, if this is your first time, is pretty much show and tell with guns. Today, my good friend Kwaku James, martial arts expert, security extraordinaire, all the things, he's with us today, and he's going to be sharing some of his favorite pieces from his collection. And because of his martial arts background, and if you've listened to his podcast conversation, I'll try to link that down below, that we had with him on the Costly Conversations podcast. He actually explains that he does have a background in knife fighting and such, or at least the training in that realm. So we're going to go ahead and talk with him, check him out, see what he's got going on, and of course, chat about the Gats. All right, let's go ahead, jump right into it. Bro, welcome
It
to the show. Welcome to Gat Chat. What's going on, man?
Not much, not much. It's good to see you. I got my camera's like kind of wonky. I'm trying to make sure I look at the camera so it looks like I'm looking at you guys instead of trying to
Bro.
look at you. And, you
Yeah,
know,
no, you're good. Well, just a quick reminder, we're gonna do this. We're gonna present this also to our audio only podcast listeners. So as you're talking about your guns, make sure you're describing them with your voice because we want to make sure we're honoring them and their time spent as well. So, bro, what you got for me?
all right. Let's get in there. Let's talk about my baby, my first one, right? Since we're talking Gat Chat, um, we have my 19X. She's stock. She's beautiful. Um, the story behind her, I didn't like it when I first got her. So the year she came out, 2018, I believe that's when the fifth gen of Glocks came out. That March, I got with my tax return, I bought the 19 with the Marigold sights. I bought that one. It was great. It was beautiful. And I saw the 19X and I didn't like it because of the color. I thought the color was like, I'm like, ew, nasty. Um, had the 19X, didn't really shoot it. I just had it, took it to range once or twice. And I remember I had a dream somewhere about June or like late June, early July. Then I had another dream, and both dreams had the 19X in it. I dreamt about the gun. So I was like, you know what? I got to get it. So saved up
He
some
said it's
money.
a sign.
It was. Saved up the money, got it. Um, August, I took it to my first class because I decided I was going to be a firearms instructor, um, and I was trying to figure out how I'm going to actually do this. Now, mind you, I can't shoot. I just started shooting, but I'm a martial artist, right? And if I can do it, if I can train myself with weapons, I can train myself with this. And that was my uh, initiation into becoming a firearms instructor also. So I took a class, then ended up taking some instructor courses, and since actually that's 2017. So 2018 is when I became an actual instructor. But this is the gun that really kicked it off for me as far as uh, really me getting into shooting. Um, like I said, I have my 19X, I have my Smith and Wesson Shield, but this baby, she's my catalyst. Um, I carried her concealed. Um, she was my first duty weapon. I still rock with her whenever I can. She's great. Um, and then I really love my TXE holster with the Poppies of War design. Uh, this was great. This is beautiful. So I would carry her appendix, and it was just great. Even down here in Florida, I did my best. If I was in a colder climate, this is like the perfect carry. But I'm here in Miami. so we wear a lot of thinner clothes. So I had to go to something thinner. So I eventually bought the 48. I'm not gonna pull that out because everybody knows what the 48 looks like. 48 is my everyday carry at the moment. We will be upgrading one day, but this is my baby. She started me off. She put me into becoming an instructor. Uh, This was my actual initiation into the gun life, into the gun culture.
Nice. Any notable quirks or features with the 43X? Sorry, not 43X. With the 19X? Has it been reliable all this time, or have you had any issues with it?
I've had probably any malfunctions I've had were self-induced.
Hmm.
Uh, or when I first started shooting, I didn't have enough of a grip. So
Right. The limp
when
wrist.
you
Yeah.
have the flip wrist and you get stovepipes.
Hmm.
But once I worked on my grip, I've hadn't had one issue. I've had probably no, I haven't had any dud. I had a couple of misfires. I did, but that was ammunition.
Right.
Um, they weren't squibs, but they were just failure to fires. Um, I've had a couple of those, but other than that, this thing has been reliable. I went about 2,000 rounds without cleaning her, and
Golly.
the only reason I cleaned her because I was shamed. I was on live with Akil Bay.
Ah,
Um, he was keeping his gun, and I told him, I said, "Yeah, I got my Glock." He said, "When's the last time you cleaned it?" I was like, "Oh, it's been about 2,000 rounds now." And he's like, "You ain't clean?" I was like, "I'm testing this thing out. I want to see how long I can go with before it starts jamming. Um, I want to see how if I can trust this Glock with my life, like I say." And I mean, it went 2,000 rounds. It was dirty. I might have wiped down the top of the slide, but I
mhm.
never actually. I didn't even open it
You
and
weren't
clean it.
touching the rails. None of that.
Nothing for 2,000 rounds. I put Tula through here. I put
Ugh.
Wolf through here. I put stuff in it because my life. If I trust my life to something, I want to make sure it runs no matter what.
No matter
You
what.
know,
That's right.
I don't keep my guns. I don't have any safe queens. Um, they all get they all get written real hard. I got marks and scratches and rust marks because of the oil on my body and stuff like that. And it's great. I clean it off the best way I can. And I keep it moving. So
Fair.
I
Nice.
did. I went to a gun show and there's this guy who does triggers. So I put a ghost connector in it and he's kind of smoothed it out a little bit. So it's dropped down to about 3.5 pounds, about
Nice.
4 to 3.5 pounds. And the reset on this is awesome because I mean we'll see. Like the reset is pretty short,
That's pretty good.
compared to most blocks.
Yeah, it's
Um,
compared to a standard.
yeah. So I love where the reset is. It feels great. It's crisp. I have the original shoe, and I'm down with that. I'm a Glock fanboy, but and yeah, this is a Honda Civic of the firearms world, you
It
know,
is.
but that's about this. I'm a stock monster, and pretty much
But it's not like you don't have any guns that are like, oh, that's so cool. Like you've got some cool guns. Like,
yeah.
but obviously, my only question with the Glock and with the trigger, I know you said you've done some, you've carried it for duty, security and whatnot. How have you ever had any concerns? Like, man, okay, we've made some modifications to the gun. If this gun ever gets, taken in as evidence, are you concerned about that modification coming up?
Well, one, that modification is not going to be a thing. They're not going to really even notice because I know they don't really check on the trigger weight or anything like that.
Hmm.
I didn't put uh, any Punisher symbols or any whatever on there for the sole purpose of that. If I use it, I don't want people to be like or try to vilify the fact that oh, he's looking for a problem.
Right.
He's just great. No, I'm a responsible gun owner. I don't need to put any of all that stuff on my firearms. And if I did, I promise you, those aren't weapons that I would use to protect my life. Those would be safe queens or whatnot. And I don't have any
Fair.
safe queens, so everything
Fair.
I get,
Fair.
yeah. Everything I
Okay.
get gets screened, and it goes through its paces.
All right. What else you got for me, man?
All right. Since I'm talking pistols, I upgraded my duty weapon to my Staccato, and I
Screwy.
know I'm kind of late to the party. I got a Staccato P. Uh, I put the I got a green Trigicon 509T.
It's a
'Cause I have
Holliston
that.
509T.
Yeah, Holson, excuse me. I have this on my Benelli, which I'm gonna try to get before it gets too dark. I have this on my Benelli, and I like this, so I put it on here.
Heck yeah.
Um, Again, I have the what's this? The Surefire X300.
Hmm.
And it's a duty gun. And me personally, I don't like not lights on my guns, but it's a duty gun. And I'm like, if I'm doing security work and I'm tacked out, you know, maybe I'll need the flash. I need the light. I mean, I do have my flashlight, but maybe I do need the light. So I went ahead and put a put a light on it, and it's fine. It works. It's good. Um, but yeah, this is my new baby, and I rock with her. It makes me shoot a lot cooler than I am. I mean, I can shoot, but like I said, she makes me shoot a lot better
Listen,
than
Staccato
than.
P is the most underrated staccato in the entire lineup. Like I've not been a big fan of the C2, not a huge fan of even the CS. The CS is cool, but
Mhm.
with the Staccato P, anytime I've shot it, it shoots so flat. It you
Yeah,
don't feel it so much. Like you can shoot a lot of guns that you feel every single shot, but with that one, it just soaks it all up, and it's just oh, I could go on.
I just requalled in my doing my security pistol
Mhm.
certification, and I out of 140, I got 139. I scored 139 on my
Heck
on
yeah,
my
bro.
shooting, and my grouping was tight. Everything was great, and I know where I dropped my shot. I dropped it at a 7 yard shot, and I just took my eye off the. I took my eye off the target when I was reloading, and
Mhm.
that my initial shot dropped, and I
That
was at, and
presentation. Hmm.
I was like, man, I dropped the shot. Man, I knew I dropped it. I knew I missed it, and it was just outside of the line.
Hmm.
Um, to it was just outside the line to be marked as one, opposed to being considered
1 or 2
in,
points. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I would have aced it. So,
Man,
but it was good.
ah, nice. But you obviously we went from the Glock. Now we've hit the Staccato, one of the greatest handguns available to for duty. Um,
Right.
it's a cool gun. You mentioned a Benelli, but if you have any other handguns, I want to make sure we get a chance to go through those.
I'm not gonna pull out the other ones or whatnot.
Okay.
Um,
You want to talk about the knives?
Whoa, yeah, I know that was your thing, right? Nice.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Let me turn on the light. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
to
Go
do.
ahead. Okay, sweet. So we got that set. Um, so we wanted to talk a little bit about the knives.
Right. So, um, oh, I have one more. Hold on.
One more.
So with a lot of Filipino martial arts that I do, I had an affinity for Karambits.
Hmm.
That was kind of my thing. Um, and because of Filipino martial arts, I did a lot of stick fighting, and a lot of that translates over to, or how do I make it work for real life situations? Well, we use machetes. Machetes are easy to come by. So I will translate my stick fighting to use some machetes. So if all else fails, I can still defend myself. Let me go to Home Depot, then pick up a $12 machete, and I'm good, right? So I did, however, come across a machete that was kind of like for show, but I really liked the Book of Eli, and this was kind
Oh,
of why that it's a little bit longer than most machetes, 21 inches, 17-inch blade, about 5-inch handle, and she's really, really thick. She's not flimsy like a machete. She's a
yeah.
cleaver.
It's like a sword. Like what is that overall design? Because I know that it's like a certain look. It almost looks like something out of like one of those movies you would see in like a Prince of Persia type thing? Like, is there a specific name for that curve?
Well, no, actually not. Um, it was just he just designed it a certain way. I mean, you could say a little bit of a scimitar,
Okay, yeah,
especially if it was more curved on the spine.
yeah, yeah.
You could say scimitar, but no, this is just really more
When
of
I
a
say
base.
when I
You know,
say Prince of Persia, I really meant to say something out of like 300. Do you remember? Did you ever see 300?
like gladius or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know. We got to get a picture of that either afterwards or I just screen grab it from right here, and
Right,
I'll try to post it so if the people on the podcast side want to see it, they can see it.
right.
At least in a few different places.
That
Yeah,
gladius is not, and it's about the same size. The gladius may be a little bit longer, maybe a
yeah,
couple of inches, and it's double bladed. But yeah, the gladiuses are nice.
yeah. That's pretty
But
sick, dude.
this sits in my car next to my seat.
Listen,
So if I have to jump out,
I
I'm
hope
just
no one
saying
tries you with that. That'll be sad for everybody involved.
this to be that'd be a bad day. Um,
Yeah.
this is what I carry with me daily.
Ooh, that is a
This is
karambit.
actually a Desan Gut.
A
So
de-
the Sangut and the Karambits are pretty much the same tool. They're farming tools.
really?
People use them to dig and plant and do a lot of horticulture with, right? But it also was used as a weapon. The the ring was actually so they can actually keep it. So they will use it, flip it over. They'll use their hands, pick up whatever, plant things, and then they'll move back and they'll dig.
That's
Um,
so interesting that such a iconic weapon really has its roots as a tool. And, you know, the most iconic part of it, the ring at the end, is based on a utilitarian design. Not so, oh, we can kill better, it's so we can be more productive.
No, it's like I said, they will flip it over and they use the same hand to do whatever they need to do, and then they flip back so they can go back to work. So,
Where did you say those originated from?
uh, Philippines
Philip.
and Indonesia.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, so the tool is called Sungut. This is actually called a Desungut, named after Odessa Ramos. She is my instructor, or one of my nice instructors. She was a student of his, and she's one of the only female Kali instructor, a Filipino martial art instructor, who's a grandmaster level. And she, they're very prejudiced to a certain extent. And so she fought really, really hard to get that title. Um, and he made this in honor of her. So this is his knife and his design, but he named it after her because she liked the karambit also.
That's awesome.
So
So, in essence, that is a karambit design, but the Desengut version of a karambit. Am I off?
it's actually right. It's a karambit design, and actually it's really a knife. The knife is the cool thing about his knives. They are their hilt or their handle. Their hilt is kind of like a gun grip. It's
Okay, yeah,
angled
with the group, yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
a gun, and it helps for cutting. It's perfect. He has different blades. He has like 8 different blades. He has a cis Christian, scimitar, a kopesh, this, a bowie. Some are a little bit longer than the others. His name is Bram Frank. If you look up Bram Frank, BramFrank, check out his knives. They're great. They're amazing. Buy one. He for him selling them, they're a great price. They're a really good price, especially when other people are selling their knives for like Doug Marcaida selling his knife for like $250, $300. You know, his is usually goes for about 125, maybe 150. You know, I recommend people definitely pick some of these up. They're great. They're amazing. Um, this is actually the Death Gut. It's a knife, so it's supposed to be used uh, forward like a regular knife, but
Hmm.
because I love karambits, I always use it in a reverse grip.
Fair.
You
I
know,
mean, it's versatile like that. You can use it in a reverse grip,
right?
and
And with all his weapons, so all
yeah,
his tools are. are just that way, and
Yeah.
I love it. This has a what's called the Bramp finger. This edge.
Hmm.
I use this as a compliance tool. So if I break this down, I can still. We have this Bramp. He named they've named it the Bramp or coined it the Bramp.
Well,
So I can
what is
use
a
it.
Bramp? Just for people listening,
Bramp
I
is
want them
a
to know.
little angler. It's like a little triangle at the edge of the hilt when the knife is retracted or folded in,
Hmm.
and I can use this little edge as a hammer. It's
Nice.
metal and it's hard, and I use it as a hammer. I can use it as a compliance tool. I can grab your arm and use it to for pressure points. If I crack you in the head, it hurts, but it's a tool, and I can actually use this Bramp to deploy the weapon, so I can engage the blade in the middle of a flow. So if I'm using this as a hammer and I use your clothes, and immediately the blade is deployed.
That's
You
incredible.
know, and
What
if
I
I'm
need you
good
to do is I need you to post you working with that thing so people on podcasts can go and check out your page and see exactly what it is we're talking about, because I feel like you're doing a great job of explaining it, but there's just so
enough,
much to it, and I really want them to like get a second look, like eyes on, because
I will. I do have some on my IG
okay,
page,
yeah,
which is Total Strategies. They're deep down in there because I've done these like over the last few years, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so they're deep down in there, but I will either do some new ones or I'll just have those. I'll just try to repost.
Yeah,
Um,
repost,
over
pin,
to-
just put in your
yeah,
stories, something,
yeah.
because or maybe update your highlights, maybe I don't know. So
Update my highlights. Thank you very much, sir. I like that. How's that? Yeah. I
no,
gotta get
that's
better
awesome.
at using social media. I'm not gonna even lie. So
Shoot, I feel it. No, look at that.
yeah,
Like the ability to just run that. You said it was called a Bramp, just
yeah.
along. I guess a non-smooth surface and just pop it out. That's incredible.
So I even use it in a reverse hand grip. I can hammer
Yeah,
and swing. If I have my finger on the ring, all I
and
have
you're
to
not
do
gonna
is
lose
just
it.
no, and I can just deploy it
Yeah.
that way as well.
Now
So
I was gonna ask you like how long it took you to learn to really be effective with that, and if people wanted to learn what they should expect. But if you have any other tools that you want to go through, I don't want to interrupt the flow.
I do, and I tell people I can teach you how to be effective with the knife uh, within 10 minutes. If
Yeah,
you have hands, you box, you can be effective with the knife.
yeah.
It's really just that simple. Um, and I do have a couple of things on my Instagram talking about that. I do have a knife course that I put together. I just haven't edited about a year and a half ago. I just haven't edited and put it out there, made it
Hey,
available for
might be
folks.
some demand. So hey, get it done, man.
So I think I might have to do that.
Well, what else you
Um,
got for us? Because I know your time's limited. We probably have about 10 more minutes with you.
yeah. So I saw the movie. What was it? Terminal List. And my life has been geared towards axes now. And Terminal List had the Sayoc uh the Sayoc axe. Well, I don't have the money for that one, unfortunately, because it's like $800.
Oh,
I don't have that. Well, I take that back. I do have the money. I just haven't found the reason to buy it just yet. But I did go on Etsy and I bought a copy, and it's
nice.
just as sharp and it's just as functional. The only issue is the handle. It's the same. It's the same design. It's pretty much a carbon copy. The handle is a lot thinner. That's the only difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't mind. It's kind of heavy and a little bit wielded. It's kind of heavy and wielding is a little bit awkward. It took me a minute to get used to, but I love it. If I want distance, I have three hand holds. If I want distance, I can hold it near the end, right?
Right.
If I want to use distance and attack, um, the middle grip here for those of you guys can see, the middle grip is good for close in. I can use to parry, redirect, uh, and if I really want to get close, I can choke up on the grip and I can use it as a jabbing type situation, small cuts or whatever. So I'm still playing with it. I haven't taught an axe class or a tomahawk class, but I'm actually putting together a small little curriculum just for the heck, for just for fun of it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. Well, I want to just make sure we've explained because it's a unique look. Like, would you say it's a tomahawk style, or what would you call it? Is it more of an axe? What would you say it is?
it is definitely a small it's a small tomahawk
Hmm.
hand axe.
Yeah,
Uh, because yeah, we have to describe it for for your podcast people, right?
right.
So
But even the blade design is interesting because the top of the blade shoots out and then it comes back in into like a hook.
it was how do you it's almost like a beak
Yes,
with a point at the top and a spike in the back. It's
yeah,
really weird combination. But if you look up Sayoc Kali or Sayoc Axe, um, you'll definitely or look up terminal list.
yeah. With
You'll
Chris Pratt.
definitely you'll actually see you'll definitely see the axe because the axe is definitely there and it's definitely known. Um, and it takes about 6 months. No, it takes about 8 months for them to actually make you an axe. So
Wow.
I can order you because they're made to order. So I can order an axe, um, and then when they start on the process, they'll email me, and then I'll have to pay for it, and then I have to wait for it to get there.
You know,
So
it's so interesting because it's kind of like a one of one in a sense. Like they're not just making this on a factory floor where it's like and maybe they are, maybe somebody is, but they only make it to your request. It's not like it's just one sitting on the shelf. Oh, okay, yeah, let me go get it. Hey, Jeff, Frank, grab one of those in the back. No, 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 no. Like they're making this with love.
and that's the Etsy one. I wanted one immediately because I wanted to play with it. I wanted to get good with training with it.
Hmm.
And I do train with it with the sheath on. I do get used to wielding it and stuff like with the sheath on.
Is that a what
Um,
leather sheath on that?
it is definitely leather.
Mm,
So, and I only spent like about 150 for it or something like that on Etsy.
nice. Now
Yeah,
that one's
100.
not in the same, 8 months waiting,
No,
$800. Yeah,
it was there. I got it within about 3 or 4 days.
nice.
Um, so like I said, it has allowed me to play. I have the knife, I have the axe that I want, and it allows me to play with all the tomahawk things that I want to do. So I'm really trying to figure out. I'm studying tomahawk and knife, tomahawk and or long knife like the Indians Seminoles do. I'm trying to find some people to kind of take some classes from. I've been doing some research on a lot of reading and a lot of researching online. So again, it's something that I do just to better myself. Just
Dude,
add another into the
listen.
into the mix.
Listen, you are a student of the game, and I don't think that should be discounted or dismissed. Because clearly, like you say, hey, I really like that tool, that weapon, that design of this tomahawk axe thing. I'm gonna go get one. I'm not gonna pay the 800 for it. But I'm gonna go get one. I'm gonna train. I'm practice, and maybe in a few years, if you're just like, hey, like it's time, maybe you'll get your one of one, right? But
I'm gonna get me. Don't trip. I'm going to get it. We going. It's just I have other things I have other things that take priority at the moment,
right, of
and
course.
it's not that big of a thing. But it's a
Right.
thing.
I mean, because you
It's
you
on.
got one to practice with, obviously, but once you start your course, I'm gonna need to see the real McCoy. All right.
Sure, for sure. Don't worry about it. I got you. So,
Hey.
we got a couple more minutes. I just want to run through a couple of other babies. I've
All right. Let's
always
rock.
loved. I got my 870 shotgun Remington,
Ooh.
uh, which is cool, but I'm not gonna bring that out today. But the
I
shotgun that
guess we got to
I've been
bring you
in.
back, right?
Oh, we gotta definitely bring it back. Bring it back. If you bring me back on Gun Chat, we'll pull that one out. Actually, and I'll just do that. You put me back on Gun Chat, and I'll pull out the other ones. But I do want to talk about two of my rifles.
Let's rock.
Um, so the one rifle, we'll talk about the 308 later. We'll do the
Hmm.
308 later. We'll talk about Big Bertha later.
Mm.
Um, but we'll talk about my dream gun, which was the Benelli M2. I know it's kind of dark. It's gotten darker and stuff like that, and the light and all. But this is my Benelli M2, and I told you guys I had the 509T on it. I put an extended mag tube on it, so I actually hold 9 rounds in here instead of 8, and that's about it. Everything else is I changed the charging handle to a Terran Tactical charging handle. I changed spring, the trigger spring, to a Terran Tactical, and there's a stock spring also to make it shoot a little bit smoother. I changed that to a Terran Tactical spring also.
And you got the
Um,
509T on top. What was it very difficult to do the modifications?
oh no, it was very simple. I just took it apart. Took me less than 5 minutes to do it all. Only thing I didn't have the tools for the stock spring
Hmm.
uh, that was supposed to make the recoil a lot smoother, and the recoil it wasn't that bad to begin with. Um, but I took it to a smith because I didn't have the
for
tools,
for
and
the stock.
yeah, so he
Now,
just took.
my question is, if you had to do it over again, or if a friend was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get that same setup," what would you have me change out? What should I avoid? What should I get? Like, is there anything on there that you'd be like, "Oh, get this one instead. I like this, but maybe not that."
Honestly, I think it runs. I think it's perfect the way it is.
Hmm.
I will always recommend getting a extra uh extended tube,
Hmm.
extended magazine, because the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Because the shotguns are meant to be fed. So they are made to be fed. You shoot as soon as you finish, you load. You shoot two, you load two. You shoot three, you load three. So other than that, definitely get a optic. There's no reason not to have an optic in today's world. The optics are rugged enough to withstand shotgun blast. Um, Ghost ring sights are cool. I do have a nice little front post, combat front
Nice.
post, and we have the ghost ring sights at the back. Me personally, I'm thinking about taking the ghost ring sights off because I never use them. Even if I did take this off, I can. It's short range. The sights are enough for me um, to hit anything within 20 yards, and it's a shotgun, so I'm not shooting anything past 15, 20 yards.
Okay.
So and the red dot is perfect, and it has a circle dot. So the cool thing, the reason I got this because of the circle dot that's in there. Wherever I put that circle dot, that's pretty much going to be the size of the spread
Yeah.
uh, on the target that I put. So I know if I put that whole circle dot in your chest, that's where pretty much all the pellets are going to go.
Nice, because that is a concern with shotguns. Is that okay? Well, you don't have complete control over, say, like a singular bullet being placed on a target into the A zone. Well, with the shotgun, you might have a spread a little bit wider. And what if you start to leave the target, hurt somebody that you didn't mean to hurt, and
Right.
and all that? But obviously, there is some predictability to a shotgun if you understand the ammunition you're putting through it, and of course the shotgun itself.
Well, that's the main thing. You have to train with your tool. Whatever tool you have to train with it. I am turning into a shotgun aficionado. I love my shotgun, and I'm taking another shotgun course this year, end of the year.
He's taking a whole
Uh,
shotgun course. I love it. I love it. Give us
I mean,
more.
I have a shotgun course. I've been trying to run one. Nobody down here in Miami has taken up any classes yet,
Listen,
so
wake up,
I've
Miami.
I've taken a couple people down to the range and shot them. And really, shotguns are the easiest thing. It's just manipulation. It's just learning
Hmm.
how to manipulate the firearm
How to actually
and
run
being
it.
comfortable with it.
Hmm.
Um, there's no reason you cannot. Can you miss with a shotgun? Yes, but you cannot miss with a shotgun. If you know how to manipulate it, the only way you're going to miss is they're running all over the place. But if you learn how to lead your targets, if you learn how to run a regular rifle, you can run a shotgun. It's not a problem. So
Yeah.
you just have to develop that confidence, and the only way you're going to do that is by training.
Have you ever wanted to
So
do like 2 gun or 3 gun that involving shotgun?
initially, I thought I wanted to do three gun, just for not even for the competition's sake. I don't care about winning. I just wanted to do it so I can learn to run my guns better.
Yeah.
Um,
Apply that
I just
pressure.
haven't had I just really haven't had the time to get into three gun like I really wanted to. So
Fair, fair. Well, I know we're kind of getting to the point where you'll have to go and run and do what you do, the security work and put the gun on, do the thing. So I don't want to hold you beyond, obviously the time that we agreed on, but I do want to make sure we bring you back. So everyone who's listening under the sound of my voice, if you want to see more Kwaku James, of course, go follow him on Instagram. We're going to tag his Instagram page and
Korean
obviously
strategies.
Taurine Strategies. It's a funny spelling. So you got to,
Taurean strategies. That's
yeah,
it.
I guess it's not that hard. But guys, go follow him and let me know in the comments on YouTube. And of course, if you want to send me a DM or like an email, info@costlymedia.com. Um, we'll talk. We'll see if you want to bring him back. Talk about the other Benelli and the 308 and the couple guns and there's a couple
Yeah.
stories. And that's what Gat Chat's all about, is talking about what's going on, talking about the stories. Thanks for showing us
And
about knives, man. Go ahead, dude.
by the time I come back, I might have a couple of bolt actions also that I'm building.
Hey, listen, bolt
Possibly
guns were becoming
building.
the meta for a minute, and I think in some circles they still are. So I got to hear about your bolt guns and your long range activities.
So
um,
yeah, there's
anything else you
histories
want
and
to share?
stuff about that. Huh?
I was going to ask, is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, you know what? I do have my Mark 18 and I have my other 308, my other Daniel defense. But you know what? We'll talk about the Daniel defenses later because
Mhm.
my Mark 18, she's a beast. But if we're gonna do it, I might as well just bring out my bolt gun, bring out the first rifle that I built,
Yeah.
which was my first rifle. My Strike Industries built, my 308 clone. I might just bring out all my rifles, and we can
We
talk
just
about those.
it'll be the episode about rifles, right?
Yeah, it'll
Listen,
be nothing but
listen.
rifles, bolt actions, the 300 blackouts, the 86 blackout that I'm building. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Listen, but only if we can at least touch on the Benelli, because it's Benelli.
Yeah, you know what? I'll come out and we'll finish the story about the Benellis and stuff like that too.
Fair. Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Dude, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Gat Chat. Of course, this is an extension of what we're doing here with Gun Club, Costly Conversations, Costly Media, all the things that we do here. If you are a fan of this kind of slightly new direction, we're not canceling Costly Conversations. God, no, we're not doing that. But we are including a little bit more variety in the conversations that we're having, letting people come on and share the collection. It's show and tell, baby. If you're a big fan of that, let me know. And if you're just like, man, I missed just pure hour and a half long conversations with the extra 30 minutes on locals, we'll still have that. We actually have a podcast scheduled with Kinsey Three Gun. She was just on Classic Firearms. And we have a conversation that we're trying to get scheduled with a young lady who is had some health issues, ended up in a wheelchair, can't walk, but yet she has gotten into competition shooting. She's training at SIG. She's in USPSA matches, competing against people who can do all the things, and she's not letting that stop her. And to me, if you refuse to be put into a box, every day that you do that is a day worth talking about, and I want to talk about her story. So, guys, if you're interested in that, let me know. Please comments on YouTube or shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you. And in the description show notes, there's going to be a link directly to our Discord group. It is free. Join the Gun Club Discord. I just like talking with you guys. Like, I'm a big fan of you. So join us there. Thank you so much, guys. What do we say at the end of this? I don't even know. Keep it costly. I'll figure it out. Peace.